How to pass your ACCA Audit and Assurance examination with some top tutor tips. Well, if you have that exam paper, you are in the right place because I'm delighted to welcome Shamid here, who's going to walk and talk us through his top tutor tips that he shares with his students to get the 50 plus and to pass their exam. But Shamid, feel free to introduce yourself, my friend.
Yeah, thank you very much, James. First of all, for your warmth and kindness for accepting this request to have this chat with you and, to be part of your channel. I am Shamid Abraham. I'm a fellow member of the ACCA since 2003. Of course, that puts me where about 22 years in the profession. My professional experience actually began at the Big Four firm at PwC in Trinidad in the Caribbean. I guess that is probably where my love for audit started. I also have a decade of experience in the offshore banking industry, having worked in Bermuda and the British Virgin Islands in the area of hedge funds. However, along that entire professional journey, I was always involved in education,
Hmm.
and I've tutored 11 AAA prize-winning students who all topped the Caribbean and placed, with some really good world placings as well,
Hmm.
together with 4 AA prize winners. I do a lot of work with the ACCA Caribbean and North American team, with respect to webinars, exam prep webinars, and just general ACCA advice. Like you, James, I like to give students advice.
Yeah.
I like them to approach me, how should I attempt the exams, the correct order of the exams, just
Hmm.
general advice as well. Um,
Fantastic. Yeah.
very
Well,
recently as well, James, I also joined the FME Learn Online,
mhm.
a platinum approved learning provider based in the UK. You're familiar with the FME team as well. So yeah, I tutor AA and AAA, and I'm really thrilled to have this session with you.
Wow, 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 wow. Lots of key words in there like prize winner that lots of students watching this will go, wow, I better take some notes down here. But
Hmm.
Shamid, let's get us kicked off. If you've got
Yep.
an audit and assurance student in front of you who
Hmm.
wants to pass their exam, what have
Yep.
they got to do?
Well, I would say you need to place emphasis on those OTCs, those objective test case questions. It's often an area that students really overlook, or they
Hmm.
just think, because they're sort of like, for want of a better phrase, multiple choice questions sort of
Yeah.
thing. A lot of students think that they can actually wing a pass on the day of the exam. But James, this actually accounts for 30 marks in the exam. It's
Hmm.
actually the biggest chunk of marks in the AA exam. So my advice to students is that you need to put in a lot of practice with respect to those OTCs. And a lot of if you want to get real success with the OTCs, a lot of them, they stem from knowledge. Yeah, they're really knowledge based. So you may have a scenario on the auditor's responsibilities with respect to subsequent events, and you will not be able to fare well with those 5 OTCs if you don't have knowledge
Yeah.
of the auditor's responsibilities with respect to subsequent events. Let's just say, just to use one example. So I would say that you need to really, focus on those OTCs. You need to have a real the knowledge. Yeah. So I tell my students, stay close to the material, stay
Hmm.
close to the content, to the knowledge, to the textbook or the handouts or the notes that you're using, and ensure that you have a really good knowledge so that it could translate into success for the OTCs, because the OTCs are actually all or none 2 marks. So
Mm.
if you can actually lose 10 marks if you've gotten 5 of them wrong.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
first top tip, OTCs, you need to dedicate some serious time to that.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, I completely agree. And the focus when you're reading them through, don't
Hmm.
make the silly mistakes, try to
Hmm.
work it out logically.
Yeah.
That would be where I would start going through the exam. I mean, do you
Hmm.
recommend to your students a particular section by section, or
Mhm.
how do you sort of play it out? Would you
Yeah,
say to a student?
excellent question, James. Because I always recommend to my students to do the OTCs first in the exam.
Hmm.
Because if you think about it, in the first few minutes of an exam, it's kind of like, when you're playing cricket, James. I'm sure you've played cricket before, where in the first few minutes, yeah, you're always tentative. It's where a really good batsman is really just getting their feet wet. And I would say you need to get those OTCs out first, because no one wants to get to work in the first few minutes of an exam typing or fashioning an answer,
Mm.
drafting sentences. So, you could just read, think, and click. Yeah,
Mm.
so I would suggest doing, attempting the OTCs first. And by the mere fact of working through 15 questions in almost an hour, you get the double A juices flowing. It will help you, and it puts you in a better frame of mind for the section B.
Mm. Good stuff on there. Well, speaking of the other sections, sort of
Yeah.
syllabus areas,
hmm
what's your next sort of key tip that you've got to say a
hmm
student who's in class with you, that is what they've
Yeah.
got to follow?
Well, James, I'm just looking at one of my second screens here, and just looking down the last. If I look at, if we had all the time in the world, the last 10 exam sessions for double A, I can tell you the section B,
Mm.
it's always about internal controls, audit risk, substantive procedures. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I would, I would advise every student attempting the double A exam, if you can master internal controls, audit risk, and substantive procedures, you are giving yourself a really, really good chance of passing this exam. And there's no shortage of practice questions. There's no shortage.
Yes. Well, as you and I well know, the pass rate for the audit and assurance exam,
hmm
for ease, let's say it's
hmm
40%, but it does go a
hmm
bit lower than that
hmm
sometimes as well.
Yeah.
What if you've got a student who, say, is maybe failed before, or maybe they
hmm
don't work in audit, maybe they're having a
hmm
bit of a hard time with the exam?
hmm
What other sort of tips do you have to mind?
Well, I would say, James, that, a lot of double A students have really overcomplicated a really simple exam. Yeah. And for students who may have failed before, one of the reasons why students may have failed before, a lot of students would not have completed the exam. They would not have
Hmm.
finished the exam. And that is a function of, I always tell students, it's a function of two things: lack of question practice. So you go into the exam and you can't see those easy marks. You can't see the
Mm.
things that a really prepared student is able to recognize at first glance.
Hmm.
So lack of question practice, as well as doing too much, just writing too much. Sorry, I say writing, typing too much in the exam. So for example, just to give you a really, really simple example of how to keep things really simple in the exam. So in the double A exam, let's just take an audit risk example. You may find in a particular scenario where, they've told you that the client has experienced some really tremendous growth, and that the founder is, and that the client is looking to push or considering a stock exchange listing.
Hmm.
And the double A question would be, what is the audit risk? Yeah. Now, the audit risk, a lot of students, they regurgitate all of that. Yeah. They regurgitate, or worse yet, they say that the client is looking to obtain a stock exchange listing. And that's words directly lifted out of the question for no credit. The risk there is that the directors may want to manipulate the
Yeah.
financial statements to show a better picture. And James, believe it or not, a simple sentence. The risk is that they may want to manipulate the financial statements. That's a half mark. Believe
Mm.
it or not.
Yeah.
And therefore, I always tell my students, when you ID something, you develop it. ID half mark, development half mark.
Mm.
So what? Development means so what? And therefore, they may overstate profits or revenues.
Yeah.
One mark. I've just kept it really simple for
Mm.
1 mark.
Yeah, but it comes down to exam technique, making
Yeah.
mistakes. And if
Hmm.
you're a student who's watching this, who's maybe done a mock paper and
Yeah.
got under 50, look, it's
Yeah.
it's a very, very tricky exam, especially if you don't work in audit on there.
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
mean, do you have any other tips that we've got written down that we have to get on record? I'm thinking that when I last did this, oh my word, it was time pressured.
Yeah.
I think I wrote too much. I waffled too much in my answers
Yeah.
on there. I wasn't very direct. And being able to picture the audit process from
Yeah.
start to finish, it was
Yeah.
only when I was in the last few days before the exam I went, oh my word, I'm starting to get this now. Like if you've
Hmm.
got a new client and then how it
Hmm.
works. But
Hmm.
what else sort of springs to mind, Shamid?
Well, it's very interesting that you said you just started to get the hang of things as you got, deeper into your preparation. And one of the things that I would advise students, James, is that for each one of those key areas that I suggested, for each one of, audit risk, internal controls, and substantive procedures. So, like what I did for my students is I broke down each one of those areas
Hmm.
into the repetitive nature of the questions. So, for example, you probably started to get the hang of double A after doing a lot of questions because, again, let's just take audit risk as an example. Maybe you realized that I've looked at one audit risk question and I'm seeing an audit risk relating to a new client, relating to a payroll clerk who may
Mm.
have carried out a fraud, related to inventory valuation. And what you started to see is that I'm seeing these same risks in another question.
Yeah.
And so what I tell students is if you can break down each one of the areas into these subtopics, you start to see the repetitive nature of these each one of these areas, and then you begin to feel more comfortable with your question practice.
Yeah, yeah, it's an uphill battle, but
Hmm.
it is
Hmm.
worth it on there because it will pay
Definitely.
dividends when it comes to the exam, and you've got to
Hmm.
be in that position where you go, whatever they throw at me today, I
Hmm.
can give it a
Hmm.
really good go and
Yeah.
answer 100 marks on the exam day. But Shamid,
Yeah.
is there anything else, any final points that you've got to get
Hmm.
on record that
Hmm.
could be the difference in getting a student 50 plus?
I would say every other aspect of the AA exam outside of the OTCs that go for 2 marks, every other aspect of the AA exam is 1 mark.
Hmm.
Yeah. An internal control deficiency is 1 mark. A recommendation is 1 mark. And 1 mark, James, just means a very simple sentence.
Hmm.
So my last piece of advice here is that when you are practicing questions and you are looking at the answers, maybe have a look at the marking guides, James. The
Hmm.
marking guides that come after the detailed answers give the quick summary.
Mm.
Yeah. And or you can just look at the answers and look into those answers after all of the depth. What do I really need to say for one sentence?
Mm.
Yeah. So, I would say have, and ensure that you are focusing on keeping it simple because every single aspect is 1 mark. A recommendation is 1 mark. That's a
Yeah.
sentence. A deficiency is 1 mark. It's a sentence. It's really trying to just keep it simple.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. And I would have to add on there, if we've got any students who have unfortunately failed the exam, the
Hmm.
external examiners' reports are always
Oh yeah.
fantastic.
Oh
So,
yeah.
because they show you where people go wrong. I always used to
Hmm.
find the technical articles, if there was a particular area that I
Hmm.
went,
Hmm.
I'm not really sure on audit risk or I need to see another
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Very, very helpful and completely free.
Examiners' reports are extremely helpful. And one piece of advice, James, is that you need to read the examiner's reports in conjunction with the question and answers.
Hmm.
It's not meant to be a standalone document that I just sort of read as I'm standing in a line at the bank or something.
Yeah.
You know, it must be read together with the question and answers.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, Shamid. Well, I just want to say a massive thank you. And guys, I've put Shamid's details in the description of this video. Feel free to reach out to him on LinkedIn. All the details are down there. and let us know how you get on in your examination. But Shameen, any other final best wishes for the students watching?
No, I mean, again, best of luck to, any student listening to this, and, feel free to reach out to me if you want to have any advice at all on the AA exam, if you just want to have a general chat at all. Results will be out in a few days' time at the time
Yeah.
of recording this, and, feel free to just reach out. You have no idea what could, come out of a conversation.
Fantastic. Well, guys, make sure you subscribe and like so you don't miss out on any free video, any more videos, should I say. And we'll see you on the other side for another one now. So thank you very much.